It can be online bullying, cyberbullying, whatever it is. And Benjamin Avonyoche is my guest to help us discuss this topic, which is tackling partnerships at the Cybersecurity Authority. Good morning, Benjamin, and welcome.
Good morning.
So when it comes to cybercrime, how severe is it in Ghana? Are we winning the fight?
Yeah, the Cybersecurity Authority was established in 2020. The Act was passed in 2020 and started functioning sometime in 2021. So while cybersecurity issues are an old age issue, cyber-related issues, sometime in 2021. And I must indicate that it is during this period that the cybersecurity challenges that we're confronted with that cut across, now that we are even involved in mobile money and all that, people using mobile money platform to defraud people, and those who we always known and been around involved in international cybercrime, and the domestic activities of how foreign nationals are now trooping our country to be able to carry out some of those, activities. And also beyond this tackling of cybercrime, the Cybersecurity Authority is also the institution mandated to license cybersecurity service providers and cybersecurity professionals and the cybersecurity, establishments to be able to work towards protecting our cyberspace. And also the institution is also mandated to designate our critical information infrastructure to work together with these, critical information infrastructure owners to protect our digital space against unauthorized access, theft, and attack on our digital, infrastructure. Okay. So there've been progress. Whilst you may be seeing the numbers and look quite a bit alarming, it is because we are tackling the situation and it's now come to the fore. That is why it looks a bit worrying. But we're making a lot of progress in terms of the investment in our tools and getting the right personnel and framework towards the fight against cyber.
So, Benjamin, what would you say is the single most common crime that people report to the Cybersecurity Authority?
Oh, look, there's quite a lot of them, but okay. Mostly these days is more about people-related issues, having unauthorized access to people's WhatsApps, and then also the report about child, people stalking kids online, which we call cyber stalking, and also, people getting defrauded here and there, using the online platforms and all that, and also sextortion, where, adults, for some reason, have intimate videos of themselves, and then if they have issues, then people start threatening to want to, leak those videos online, which is actually an offense under the Cybersecurity Act and all that. So we get reports from across board, and also there are people who now gain access to information and then go online to market those, private information like your phone password and, among other things on the dark web. So what they do is that they use a lot of, strategies, right, in getting this information. Sometimes your password on your phone, they may not be strong. So they are very elaborate tools, just like we have ethical tools for conducting cybersecurity activities. There are people who are using those tools to conduct unethical, activities online. And sometimes you will be there and you see an email that looks somehow exactly like coming from an email that you are familiar with. People's WhatsApp has been taking control of which you are a member of a group. You realize that they start calling you that they're about to make some adjustment in the group, so they send you a code to enter, and by chance they access your private information and all of that. So they use a lot of tools to do these things, and as an authority, we are also trying to work to get ahead of them. First of all, to create awareness about the situation and how these cyber hygiene. But if these events occur, on team at the Cybersecurity Authority that help people to, recover their platforms when this is,
But
okay.
if it flows money, would they have a chance to recover it, or that one is not part of
Yes, we work with the telcos. If the reports come in time, we try to work with the telcos to block some of the SIMs that have, received this monies. But sometimes if an account is taken over or you've transferred money by mistake to somebody, people try to want to resolve the issues themselves, and when they are not finding solutions before they come to Cybersecurity Authority, when our 292 number is always available, and there's a 24-hour team that's available to pick up, your reports and take action on it. So if you by mistake transfer money to somebody who you believe has defrauded you, quickly report to the Cybersecurity Authority so that we can, take an action on blocking those numbers or informing the telcos to hold on those accounts before, they transfer the money out of those accounts.
Benjamin, now that we have you here, a lot of people have this perception. I don't know if it's a misconception or it's true. You are here to guide us. The fact that perhaps if they report, nothing will happen. So they want to do things by themselves. Why should they come to the Cybersecurity Authority?
Because we have the platform to engage the telcos in a way that individually you may not be able to do. And also, I can tell you that on a daily basis, we are blocking, SIMs of people involved in these activities. I think on average, almost 30 in a day.
Oh, wow.
Yes. By reaching out to the 292 number, you are able to, block the accounts from moving the monies into. But there are bigger policy issues that I think our sector minister, Mr. Honorable Sam George, he's been making proposals in terms of collaboration with other state agencies to look at the SIM registration and SIM ownership process.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you trace the numbers that are involved in this mobile money account. The owner of the person who is using the SIM the SIMs are not registered in their names.
Okay.
Which means that there's a gap somewhere in terms of the SIM registration process using our Ghana card and connecting that with our biometric biometric,
data. So that means perhaps the Ghana card is registered to a lady, but when you trace to go and find out which
you may find a man using the number. So at what point did they access?
I get that.
So we need to really look at the SIM registration process and resolve that gap. And I'm aware that the ministry is leading, a policy direction strongly on that, together with NIA and other agencies, to be able to see how we can quickly close that gap, because it's a major, concern that we have to tackle if we want to really, really deal with the mobile money fraud issue.
Some people like to refer to cybercrime as Sakawa, and things which deal with tradition, something that stayed with us for a while. It seems it's quite insidious. Does it pose any challenge to your work?
We cannot speak to how people, spiritually get themselves or get spiritual backing to be able to defraud people. What we do is that when reports come, for example, the recent issue that we've been working on, which I'm sure you may be aware, the Abutrika issue.
Yes,
it's an investigation that has been ongoing for, I think, over 2 to 3 years now. So the activities that these international crime people are involved in is quite elaborate, and it does not only involve them. Sometimes we see some of the people online and we think that they are the only ones who are involved, but it's an elaborate, network they have that works beyond our country. Now cryptocurrency has also come in, so they're able to move money from across different platforms and all that. So the Cybersecurity Authority, under Section 83 of the Act, have the mandate to enough evidence to take action on these things. While the authority itself is, has the power under the Act to, conduct investigations into these matters. First of all, you want to build a proper profile of the individual, because you can be seeing certain things online, but to have something to move in, to take action, you need to take time to be able to build.
That's why it takes.
It takes a lot of time, because
you have to build a case.
Because if somebody is charged for involved in a cyber crime that cost about $8 million, all the $8 million didn't come in a day.
Yeah,
it's a build-up of over time. And as and when these things are happening, we're monitoring, we're doing our profiling, we're engaging with our international agencies and partners to investigate these issues, and eventually we have to take an action.
So Benjamin, speaking about all this, like, in building your case, tracking all the monies and all, $8 million, for instance, and linking it to the Momo fraud as well, is there a chance of a refund? Like, if you lost all that money, what happens there?
Sometimes when they have access to these monies, they don't only flaunt it, but they also use the money to acquire, personal properties and all that. So in an event where such investigation is ongoing, we don't only go after the victim because we have established a connection, between those victims and the perpetrators, but we also go after their assets. All right, because the acts also give the powers to the cybersecurity authority to freeze those assets if we believe that those assets are connected to the current one that is ongoing. There's a lot of such issues that are being investigated, so we try to see what we can go after and what you can, because these things, if you're investigating such a matter, it is very complex. Cybersecurity, gathering cybersecurity evidence is a very complex thing. And because it's digital, you need to trace the footprints to be sure that you are connecting the person rightly to the situation, and to connect that to their asset. Because sometimes the assets may not even be in their name necessarily.
Just like a card situation.
Yes, so you need to be able to work, very carefully, and before you can come to a conclusion on these things.
Earlier when we were speaking, when you were speaking about the types of cyber crimes and all, you mentioned the nudity and all that, and you mentioned something about it being an offense. Is it the act itself of like taking naked videos of other people, or you mean something else entirely? If you are sharing it, what exactly do you mean when you refer to that?
So for some reasons, some adults, whilst getting intimate, that's recording. They've consented to do so. That is not an offense.
Okay, that part is not.
That is not an offense. But when, for example, there's an issue and one party have access to the videos and begin to use that as a threat, or maybe not directly, but leaked that video to somebody else to be able to post online, at that point is an offense to use, what you have consented to do privately with the intention to keep private, to put public, to leak to the public in order to, cause emotional distress to your partner or the individual you've done that with. Under that is an offense, and the cybersecurity authority, will not spare those individuals. I think the maximum, prison term is 3 years when you're caught doing that. And sometimes these things come online. And we work with the platform owners. They are operating as a CEDO, account, and those individuals who are involved. Because you are in a location and you are using these things, so there's a way to go behind to look for you.
So the maximum sentence is like 3 years for the person who leaked the video. What about the person they leaked the video of?
But then we need to, if you are picked up and there's interrogation ongoing, we will try to find out how you get the video and trace it to the source. And that individual will also be held, liable.
So the one who leaked the video and the person they did the leaking of, they are both liable.
Yes, the first point is where is the video? Which handle or which social media handle is posting this video? Yeah. That's what you trace first. When you get to that individual, we do further investigation and further interrogation to see how did you have access. You are a third party, you are not even in the video, but how did you have access to this video and why are you posting it? Through our engagement and with the law enforcement agencies, most of the time we are able to, discover where these videos came from and the individuals that are involved through the investigation. But sometimes too, the individuals that are involved also are the ones who there's evidence of threatening your partner that I'm going to release this video if you don't do this and all that, and we connect all of that dot to be able to take action.
And you go to jail for 3 years.
Yes.
But what about those who are watching? When they share it on the platform, for them, nothing happens to them, right?
I do not think that the law make room for those who are. If you are on the platform and somebody posts something, what we can do sometimes is that when these videos come out and you report to us, and we have the video, there's a way at the Cybersecurity Authority we are able to put a hash on it so that if you share any other platform, it will not play.
It will not play. It will play. Yeah. And so, speaking about that matter, let's go to those who share nude pictures. And then there's a particular sensitive subject about children where we need to protect them while they're on the digital space. Last week we had 2 conversations about that, where people intentionally befriend them and then they stalk them and online and stuff like that. What do you have to say when it comes to that particular issue?
That's also a very serious offense under the Cybersecurity Authority Act. And these days, because we are moving digital, I was mentioning to somebody before I go here that we are not going to, the world is not ever going to go back
to analog.
We can only make progress.
Okay.
That is why I think that the Cybersecurity Authority and the progress that Ghana has made in terms of putting together an institutional framework and a legal, framework to be able to tackle cybersecurity issues. And currently, we chair the African networks of cybersecurity authorities in Africa to see how we can share cross-border information in tackling cybercrime and all that. So children are then exposed to some of these things. They get access to your phone sometimes. Your kids even know your password to your phone, and by mistake, they may use your phone to do certain recordings and post online and all that. That's why we have a whole unit at the Cybersecurity Authority that focus on child online protection. First of all, through awareness creation, particularly in our basic and secondary schools. We've been traveling across the country offering education to kids on what not to do online.
Okay.
But in the event that we see individuals who are cyber stalking kids online, we try to engage, with the kids when the reports come to our attention, to engage with the kids, to try to, sometimes we even take over the accounts to be able to see how certain platforms like Snapchat and the rest have deliberately been stalking the kids. Kids online to get them involved in some of these, sexual issues and all that. So there's a whole unit at the Cybersecurity Authority that focuses on child online protection, together with UNICEF, other UN agencies, are also really focused and working with the Cybersecurity Authority to be able to deal with these issues.
So can you give us an overview of the critical information infrastructure?
So the critical information infrastructure, whilst I may not be able to give you specifics, is an area that focuses on certain infrastructure of our country that we consider to be critical. For which reason, if there's a cyber designated some of these institutions and working closely with them, particularly with the cyber security establishments, our professionals, to see how we can protect these institutions so far as cybersecurity is concerned, so that we are not going to wait for a major attack on some of our critical information infrastructure before we take action. So we are working closely with them to so that we do not have a situation where we would get at a point where some of this infrastructure is attacked, then we'll be in trouble.
Yeah. So I'm speaking with Benjamin Avanoche at the GBC forecourt, where the GBC Light and Home Decor Festival is currently ongoing, with the free breakfast and such. I have my audience members seated, listening to this conversation, how we can tackle that. You stand a chance of going to jail for 3 years once you are caught, and then of the person who took the video of all the pictures. Yes, so a lot is happening. We are here conversation. So what's the one most important thing people can do if they fall victim to these cyber crimes?
I think the key thing is that you must be able to report immediately. That's why I keep saying that the 292 contact line is open 24/7. You must be able to report immediately. You think that there's an attack on your gadget or anything that you use that is exposed to cyber attack. You must be able to report immediately. because when you do the report on time, for example, your WhatsApp, there's a way we can quickly, help you to, prevent the damage that will be caused if you report early. And also, if there's a particular number that is involved, we have a law enforcement agency unit at the Cybersecurity Authority that's been doing a lot of work in terms of tracking some of these numbers and finding the individuals behind them. As you may be aware, there has been some arrests prior to the one that we did in. Sometimes it's not even our citizens that are really involved in these things. There are foreigners in our country that now even been kept in one location for sometimes 2 years.
Oh, wow.
They don't go anywhere, and they eat once a day, and they are 24 hours behind the computers engaging in some of these things, and they have a lot of mobile phones and SIM that have been registered in names of individuals that if you trace, the SIMs are not for them, and engage in this thing. So whilst awareness is key, which we've been working on a lot, and early report is also very, very important. When the incident occurs and you report, we are able to go behind it to arrest some of these individuals, and
go to the public in order to prevent cybercrime from happening.
Yes, the October is a National Cyber Awareness Month, and this time we had the president who was the guest of honor. That we even launched the Joint Cyber Security Committee, the Joint Cyber Security Committee. That there are institutions like in these institutions, so they all come under what we call the Joint Cyber Committee, chaired by the current Director General, Mr. Divine Agbeti. And these are about 18 institutions. The whole idea behind that is to share cross-border, cross-institution, information to see how cyber issues, because cyber issues are happening from different angles, right? So these bodies, about 18 institutions, form the Joint Cyber Committee, and they work together to be able to see how we can tackle these issues from different angles with the supervision and control of the Cybersecurity Authority. So that Joint Cyber Security Committee was launched by the President during the Cybersecurity Awareness Month. We have also had training for our law enforcement agencies, including our judges, with one of our international partners called the Council of Europe, to train our law enforcement people on how to handle cyber evidence and how to even extract cyber evidence if you are undertaking, and a judge jurisdiction on cyber security matters. So we are closely working with this institution so that because cyber issues are a bit complex, so you need to have the right people trained, in order that we can work together with them when we are taking, an action or conducting an investigation or there's a prosecution that's ongoing. So the judiciary, together with the Cybersecurity Authority, now have a designated court. Our law enforcement agencies are being trained together with our global partners like the Council of Europe. That was part of the Cyber Awareness Month. As part of the celebration, all the critical information infrastructure institutions were also, we had a meeting with them to discuss how we can work together to protect our critical information infrastructure. And the current Director General has been on top of these issues as part of the month celebration, and we intend to continue to the engagement. As Interpol, we do other investigation with them. The FBI, we do separate investigation with them. But Council of Europe helps to, as part of the Cyber Security Awareness Month, they were in the country to undertake a 3-day, training for our law enforcement agencies on how to handle, cyber-related evidence.
Just locally.
So what happened is that because cybersecurity is largely a cross-border issue, so we have a system where currently at the Cybersecurity Authority, where if there's a major see the trend of what is happening in other places, to be able to anticipate and prepare ahead of such a situation. So through collaboration, we're able to get to know what is happening, information to know, okay, this is how this people went about, this is what the situation is, this is how, the incident response was done and all that, so that by the time maybe they are contemplating on taking such action in other places, you know, the countries that share this information are able to take information. Most of the times, you may not completely be able to prevent people from undertaking so, because whilst the digital space is developing, AI and all of these things are coming in, and cyber criminals are becoming very sophisticated, just as the law enforcement agencies are also, you know, building the right tool and all that. Yeah. So, for example, you are online and you see a deepfake video, and all that.
They've done it to us.
Yeah, these are deepfake videos that they use AI to generate. So what we are doing is that we are working with the platform owners like Meta, TikTok, and the rest to find a solution, a real solution to the problem, because when you take down an account of that nature, for example, you do 30 today, by morning time 60 else is up. So we are trying to see what we can come together, the authority and the platform owners, to develop a system that detects and prevents before it even comes up. All right, so that by the time you are trying to upload a video of that nature that had similarity and that had come up earlier, we're able to connect the dot to take those down, to prevent them from even coming up at all. But you need to work within the scope of the platform owners too, because they are also mindful about the people on their platform and how to, you know, protect their of states use these opportunities to abuse, you know, their mandate. So the platform owners are also mindful to be sure that whatever report you are bringing is to take action. So that's
a minute or less. If you can give final advice to Ghanaians out there when it comes to cyber crimes, and then where else we can reach you aside the 292 as well.
First of all, I want to indicate that the Cybersecurity Authority is one of the most critical, important institutions currently in our country, because we are also exposed to attack across this platform. And that is why the authority's essence is critically important. And I believe that decision makers must begin to look critically at how to build the capacity of the Cybersecurity Authority, you know, towards working, retooling, and empowering our professionals. I want to indicate that there's a lot of, make sure that you do not click on those links. Look critically at what, you know, you are clicking on. And when you have somebody call you and say, we are doing some adjustment on a particular platform you are on, and updates on a platform you are on, so we are sending you a list, and don't enter those codes. First of all, that awareness is critical and central to the fight against cybersecurity issues. And when you are attacked, you can always call 299, and the cybersecurity will be available 24 hours to respond to your concerns.
Right. Thank you so much, Benjamin. He's the Acting Director of Communications, International Cooperation and Strategic Partnerships at the Cybersecurity Authority, helping us with the conversation, tackling Ghana's cybercrime crisis. We'll go to the studio very soon, but just before that, I just want to know there's a lot more coming up. Obi Amponsa is in the house. Foster Romanos is in the house as well. The Revenue Choir is here, not to take money, they are here to sing for us. So there's a lot more happening, including the fact that there's some free breakfast and the free medical screening going on here. So the GBC Lights and Home Decor Festival, you don't want to miss it. Please be here now at the GBC forecourt. We'll be back right after this. Thank you so much.